Apologize for worrying you. Snake! Oh my, how did you... Junpei 7, is that you? Is everyone else there as well? Just like a Rip Van Winkle. Still, it was very much like Snake to cut to the heart of the matter and ask. Junpei 7 shed a smile. Yeah, it's still there, man. Clover's eyes were filled with tears. You're back. With a cry of joy, she leapt into Snake's arms. Gently now. My body's still a little weak. You're back. Clover looked like nothing so much as a lost child who had finally found her home. She cried and cried and cried. Her eyes were red, and her nose was running. She hiccuped and gasped, as if she was about to begin hyperventilating. You're back. You're really here. Her voice was happy, but almost desperate, as if she feared he would disappear again if she stopped talking to him. Tear after tremendous tear rolled its way down her face. Her small arms strained as she clutched Snake's body as tightly as she could. Perhaps she had to convince herself he was real. Perhaps she was worried he would be gone the moment she let go. Perhaps she didn't know what else to do. Back. Come now, what's gotten into you? Silly woman! We've got puzzles to solve! You're acting as though I've returned from the grave. Not as though. You did. I really thought you were dead. Huh? You jerk. Idiot. Clover broke into sobs so great she could no longer talk. It was a touching reunion between brother and sister. Even though Junpei knew they had little time, and every minute they waited was a minute they wasted, it felt cruel to pull them apart. Junpei 7 sat down in one of the pews, waiting for Clover to calm down before explaining to Snake what had transpired. I see, so, all this time. It always starts with that, doesn't it, when you have that, like, fast forward, like, recap and stuff. I see. I believe I understand things rather well now, thank you. In the shower room, there was a dead body wearing my clothes. Because of that, you thought that I was dead, correct? He had quickly and neatly... What is with the friends he's got rocking here? What's all that about? He had quickly and neatly summarized the events of several hours. Junpei nodded. You also discovered a corpse in the captain's quarters, and Santa turned on you here in this room. Do I have it straight? 7 had been rather surprised to learn of the dead body in the captain's quarters. With everything that had been taking place, Junpei had simply forgotten to mention it to him. Well then, I've got a pretty decent idea of what happened while I was indisposed, but it's still something of a mystery who did all this, and why. The corpse in the shower room that looked like me, and the corpse in the captain's quarters. Why would he kill it in the same way? Killed in the way they were? You don't know? No. Why would I? The guy in the shower room. We don't know who he is, so let's just call him Mr. X. Anyway, Mr. X is wearing Snake's clothes. But you're wearing some kind of robes. That means someone took your clothes and put them on Mr. X. We need to figure out who that was. I apologize, but I have no idea who might have done this to me. I only just now woke up. I was unconscious during all the events you just described to me. They must have undressed me and changed my clothes during that time. When were you knocked out? When we split up to look for the red. Where did it get you? Do you remember? It was a small room in one of the hallways on C deck. What happened? The same thing that happened to every one of us when we were abducted. A can releasing some sort of gas was thrown into the room. I believe the gas is some sort of incapacitating agent. Then that means it was 0. Yeah, it looks that way, huh? There's nothing else I have to tell you. When I woke up, I was in this coffin. Junpei crossed his arms and thought. Why had 0 made Mr. X wear Snake's clothes? How had the results of that trick benefited 0? It was a mystery. Junpei couldn't make sense of it. He also didn't have a satisfactory explanation for how he discerned his key code for the coffin. It just didn't make sense. Truth had gone, and truth had gone. What the hell did that mean? Did it mean anything? And why had Junpei felt compelled to push the buttons on the bracelet after hearing them? Seven had asked him about it while they waited for Clover to finish crying. He had no answer for him, and he still didn't. All he could say was that it seemed to have been a subconscious reaction. His fingers had simply moved of their own accord. It was the only explanation that made any sort of sense, and it made almost no sense. Junpei had no idea what any of it meant. His mind was a maelstrom of mysteries, clues, theories, and more mysteries. He could barely think. And of course, Snake and Clover had been subjects in a similar experiment 9 years ago. The ability to access a morphogenetic field is affected by a couple of things. The first is epiphany, and the other is danger. And someone did actually die. A girl. Her name was... There'd been another experiment conducted in the same ship 9 years ago. A girl had died during it. Morphogenetic field theory. The two murders. Switching clothes. The nonary game. And whatever strange thing was happening to Junpei himself, the maelstrom in his head spat out words and ideas that disappeared back into it almost as soon as he grasped them. But as he struggled through them, Junpei began to realize something. There was something that tied all of them together. Zero. He was the ringleader, the person who had trapped 9 people on a sinking ship. Zero knew everything. If they could uncover Zero's identity, all of their questions would be answered. Who was Zero? Junpei had the beginnings of a theory. If he could only test it. Or perhaps. But at any rate, we'll have plenty of time to decipher the details later. For now, it is of utmost importance that we escape. Junpei, it was 4:30 the last time you checked the clock, yes? That means we have less than an hour. We must hurry. Hey, how are we gonna get out of here? Isn't that obvious? Through the other 9 door. Oh yeah. Yeah, you're right. With Snake we can open the door. Oh, don't tell me you haven't figured that out. As they sniped back and forth, Junpei glanced at Snake's left hand. He was wearing a bracelet with a 2 on it. Come on, you gotta tell me these things. I assumed you figured it out. Ugh, forget it. Let's just get going. 7 stomped up toward the smaller number 9 door. Clover, Snake, and Junpei followed. 7 quickly laid his hand on the red. An asterisk appeared on the screen. Junpei and the others followed suit and laid their hands on the scanner panel. Soon, there were 4 asterisks on the screen. 7 glanced at them and laid his hand on the lever of the red. Alright, you guys ready to go? Yes. Yep. Junpei paused for a moment. No, not yet. Huh? Before we go in, I'd like to check something. You want to check something? Yeah, but before I do... 7, could you pull the lever? I want to make sure we can verify with just the 4 of us. What do you mean? We don't need... Just do it, alright? But if the door opens, don't go in yet, okay? Please. This is really important. I really need to check this, okay? Work with me here. Junpei looked directly into 7's eyes. The older man looked back for a moment and nodded. Fine. Seven pulled down on the lever and the door 9 creaked open. Then they waited. 6, 7, 8. After 9 seconds, the door closed. Alright, that means the 4 of us can go through into door 9. So? We knew that already. It's obvious. Obvious? Yeah, you're right, it is. Now what happens if we add Zero's bracelet? What? Zero's bracelet? Why don't you take it out, Clover? For a moment, Clover looked surprised, but she recovered quickly and stuck her tongue out at Junpei. So you did know I had it. I picked it up because I thought it might be useful sometime. She reached into one of the pockets of her, what? Voluminous jacket. I've never heard that be like a way to describe something before. And produced a bracelet. Junpei took it from her and turned to 7. This was in the left hand of the corpse in the captain's quarters. If you look at it, you can see it's got a 0 on the face. Just to make this a little easier to talk about, I'm gonna call the guy we found dead in the captain's quarters Cap. If Cap was already 0, then I should be able to open door 9 with just me, Clover, and this bracelet. But more importantly, if you were Cap, and this was your game, would you really put one of those bracelets on yourself? Anyway, let's just give it a shot. Clover, give me a hand. Okay. After he and Clover scanned their bracelets, he waved Caps over the scanner panel. Then he pulled the lever. However, the door did not open. The reds display a red error. I knew it. Now, what does this tell us? Maybe the bracelet has to be on your wrist in order for it to work? No, that's impossible. Did you see how the panel showed a 3rd asterisk when I scanned the Cap's bracelet? Whether or not it's on your wrist doesn't matter. All you have to do is put the bracelet near the panel for it to register. 7 waved his bracelet in front of the scanner as well. Sure enough, a single asterisk appeared on the red. Huh. Looks like you're right. See? So what does that mean? There's only one possibility. The bracelet isn't the number 0. Is that what you're saying? That's right. Then what number is it? Well, let's find out. Well, we know it's a 6, so let's pick something that will give us, that'll give us, 9, but using 6. So, Snake is 2, Clover is 4, that's 6, that wouldn't be right, no. How about 7? How about 7 and... Wait, 7 and Junpei, perhaps? Would that be 12 and then 6? Yeah. If this combination opened the door, then the Cap's bracelet was number 6. Yeah! 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 Hey, it opened. The door opened. What? Why? What does that mean? Both 7 and Clover seemed rather shaken. As they turned to look at Junpei for answers, the door slid heavily shut. Junpei raised an eyebrow. Isn't it obvious? Cap's bracelet is number 6. But doesn't it say 0? This isn't a 0. The number on here isn't a 0. It's a letter O. A letter. O? Whoa, wait a minute. I don't get it. I mean, we figured out that Cap's bracelet is 6, right? Yeah. Does that mean there are 2 people with 6s? Before Junpei could answer, Snake spoke up. There is most likely only one person with a 6. But I don't get it. What about June? Well, this is only an educated guess, but I think June's number was never 6 to begin with. Her bracelet was flipped. She's Of course! Such a simple thing. In other words, June's real number is 9. That seems the most likely. That all this numbered door stuff was just a load of crap? Why would you say that? Because if June is 9, then the numbers wouldn't match up. Clover grabbed Junpei's notebook and began to write furiously in it. Junpei leaned over to look at it. List of order numbered doors June's gone through. Clover read out each row out loud so that Snake could follow along. Alright, I made a list of order numbered doors that June has gone through so far. I wrote down which door she went into and with who. And I wrote with order numbers what numbers were. So if you switch 9 in wherever there's a 6, the numbers don't work. Now that's interesting, because we did come up with that as well, didn't we? We did say, what if June's bracelet wasn't a 6? But then we said, well, if that's the case, how is she still able to open those doors? So are the rules somewhat non-applicable to her? Could she be 7? If the digital root is 7, then you can't open door 4. If the digital root is 2, you can't open door 8. Clover, do you notice anything interesting on that list? What do you mean? You're talking about 3, right? 3? Santa's always in the room with her. That's what you're saying, isn't it? Yes, exactly. What about it? That's quite simple, really. You told me that the first thing you came to this room, Santa was the first to refuse to leave June behind. That's very true. I beg the question, why? Why would Santa do such a thing? The answer is easy. Because Santa can't open door 9 with only 7 in Lotus. Of course, there's only one reason for that. His number isn't actually 3. Santa's real number? 7, would you be so kindly as to modify my sister's equations? Yeah, sure. 7 took the pen from a confused Clover and began to adjust her calculations. This is what you were getting at, right, Snake? He read out the changes he made. When he finished, he looked at Snake. Snake smiled. Thank you. That is exactly right, 7. Santa's true number wasn't 3. It was 0. No way. Santa is 0? And June was 9, not 6. On the contrary, Santa was 0, not 3. Plus 3 and minus 3. They cancel one another out. Nothing appears out of order. And that means that even though he set the whole damn thing up, Santa was still playing by the rules of the nonary game this whole time? Precisely. So you're saying Santa planned this whole thing? I'm not sure if he acted alone or not. But I think it is safe to conclude that he is 0. If my hypothesis is correct. Clover bit her lip. She seemed to be having some difficulty believing her brother's explanation. But something still isn't adding up there, though. Junpei remained silent in thought. Snake's hypothesis didn't satisfy him. June's bracelet was flipped? Even if that was possible, then there would never have been 2 number 9 bracelets. And if that were the case... Alright, that's enough talking. Let's go. It's high time we went through that door. Buddy! Buddy! Door 9 opened. They leapt through. The dead was directly in front of them as they came through the door. Quickly they scanned their bracelets. And the detonator stopped. Phew! After pausing for a moment to catch their collective breath, Junpei and his companions headed down the long hallway in front of them. At the end was a set of stairs leading down the ship. It looked as though they led all the way to the bottom deck. They looked down, and it didn't seem to be flooded. After deciding it was safe, they headed down the stairs. But Before long, Junpei and his companions found themselves on the bottom deck. They turned left into another hallway, at the end of which they found another door. And of course there was a symbol engraved over the keyhole. It looked like the sort of harpoon one would use to hunt fish, the kind with 3 prongs. Snake traced the shape of it with his fingers. This is the Neptune symbol. There must be a key around here somewhere. Neptune key. All Junpei had was the Uranus key card. Not the same planet and not even the same sort of key. Clearly it wasn't going to help open this door. After examining the door a few more minutes, they gave up and headed back the way they come. With a little more searching, they found a metal door. To the side of it was a card reader. A symbol was engraved into the card reader. It matched the Uranus symbol on the key card Junpei was carrying. Ah, this is the place. He muttered to himself and slid the card through the reader. It beeped once and the light on it turned green. With a heavy metal groan, the door creaked open. Junpei, Clover, Snake, and Seven looked at one another, nodded, and stepped through. The room they found themselves in was full of books. The library! The forest of knowledge, huh? Not the sort of library where large numbers of people came to read books, but the sort of library that was simply a place to store books. He felt a little overwhelmed by the sheer number of books, but Junpei did his best to speak with authority. Alright, if we want to get through that door out there, we need the Neptune key. I say we split up and look for it. Okay. Very well. Sure thing. Good. Let's get started then. We don't have a lot of time. Hurry! Alice sleeps in a small chamber past the forest of knowledge. As he began his search, for reasons he didn't fully understand, Junpei felt those particular words float through his mind. Whoa! One more puzzle! Detective Junpei! On the case! Oh man! I wasn't expecting this! Okay, so we're in the library. I'm gonna be right back because I need to piss because I can't contain too much excitement. Oh man. Okay, so we're back. We're in the library. The forest of knowledge. And we need to find this key in order to unlock the door next to it, which is where I'm guessing Alice is gonna be. There's a note on that table. Lights to the books? Huh, what does that mean? Interesting. Well, intelligence often hides itself in darkness. Have you ever thought about the pages of a book? Each page only sees what, maybe 2 or 3 minutes of light before the reader is on to the next? They spend the rest of their lives locked in darkness, rather like myself. It's horrible. Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining, not at all. I live in the darkness, yes. But that has gifted me with the ability to catch the truths others might miss. I can hear the voices hidden in the darkness, you might say. Huh. Oh my god. Kitab al-Azif. Man, they got some weird stuff here. I can't even pronounce this one. Who's that? Some famous guy? It's not a person's name, it's the name of a fictional book created by Abdul al-Hazred. It's said to be one of the sources used in the creation of the legendary Book of the Dead. The Necronomicon? That's an actual thing? I thought that was just like a joke. Oh. So these are all occult books and stuff? Dude. This one says the golden rabbit and the moon on it. Does that mean it's about a rabbit that lives on the moon? Rabbits are pretty cute. What's the moon stuff about? It's talking about the Judas tree that is said to grow on the moon, according to Chinese legend. This book is called Mind Swap. You mean you could like change bodies with someone? No, I guess I wouldn't mind switching bodies with my brother or Junpei too much, but I'd rather die than let Seven switch with me. What the hell? Like I'd even want to swap bodies with a little brat like... Hey, were you just imagining it? You were! Shut up. Yeah, well, he wasn't the only one. Wow! Yeah, man. What? Teletemportation and telepathy. What the hell is this one about? Well, I know what telepathy is, but I've never heard of teletemporation. Teletemporation. Fuck me. It refers to having the ability to travel through time. You mean time travel then? God damn. Energy theory, huh? I don't even understand the damn title. Looks like this shelf's all science and technology. Oh my god, this is so many books! Paleontology. This one's about fossils, right? Ammonites are pretty nasty looking. Theory of evolution. Heck, even I know this one. That's that Darwin guy, right? Well, yes and no. Charles Darwin wrote a book called On the Origin of the Species. In it, he put forth his theory of evolution. Yeah, I remember that part. He called it natural selection. Exactly. Why did mankind lose their tails? Junpei, do you know what this one's about? Why are you asking me? I didn't even know we had tails to lose. Maybe we should ask a human with a tail. Mankind's ancestors most likely lost their tails as they were no longer useful, and the nutrients required to grow them were better put use to somewhere else. At least that's what I've read. I was rather young, I may have remembered it incorrectly. Why the hell would a kid be reading a book like that? Oh god. Micrographia, huh? Ah yes, Robert Hooke's famous book, first published in 1665. He built a microscope and examined insects, inorganic substances and other things too small to be seen in detail by human eyes. He then drew pictures of many of the things he examined and published them in a book. I'd hazard a guess this shelf is concerned with natural sciences. This one says the transition of extinct species. We need to hurry it up or we're going to end up like... We're going to end up in the pages of a book like that. Yeah. Mother Nature. Is that some sort of book about hippie chicks? Probably not. Except perhaps tangentially. God. It's most likely about environmental protection. I was just trying to make a joke. Dude, hippie chicks? Really? Theories of the Cambrian explosion. Did a bomb go off near somewhere called Cambria? Wrong kind of explosion. Roughly 500 million years ago, during what is known as the Cambrian period, research suggests that the variety of living organisms increased by an order of magnitude. Why that happened is, however, still something of a mystery. There are a number of theories. This book is a likely collection of them. Introduction to geology, huh? Thinking about the Earth when you're on the ocean? Kind of romantic in a way, I guess. Sure. Creatures of the South Seas, huh? I wonder if this one's got pictures of colourful fish and stuff. Brilliant. Handrail's made of metal. Oh, great. So the last one we click on is the one that's got something different going on in it.
Huh? What the fuck is going on here?
I could say we could put open in here. Like O-P-E-N. What's the deal with these titles? They're all just gibberish. Hey, what if we like switched them around? Switch them around. Yeah, if you move them around, maybe they'll spell something. Oh, I get it. Yeah, heck, it's worth a shot. Wait, whoops. Open here, find bulb. I got a bulb, and it did say lights to the books or something like that. Looks like putting those books in the right order opened this thing up. Huh, that was a piece of cake. Hooray! You did it, Junpei. I guess that turned out well enough. So the letters from the title spells out, open here, find bulb. Powerful light bulb. The light bulb looks like it's brand new. It's really big, so it'll make a lot of light. Lights to the books. Oh, you're fucking kidding me. No. No. No! I am not clicking all of these fucking shells. Do you think you should hold hands when there aren't any handrails? I'll be fine. I can feel vibrations in the floor. That'll tell me where I am. Oh, that's not what I meant. Okay. This thing is narrow. I feel like I'm walking across a tightrope. Geez, Snake, aren't you scared? Imagine a wall 20 inches wide that runs along the top of a 10-story building. Could you walk along that, Junpei? No way. Then what about a balance beam in a gymnasium? Oh, that's easy. Huh. You don't find that strange? A balance beam is far narrower than 20 inches. So why is it that a balance beam poses no challenge to you, but the hypothetical 10-story wall does? The light can easily turn people into cowards. From time to time, a life in darkness can give you courage. Ooh, wow, Snake. That is, some pretty powerful shit he be spitting there. Alright. Ooh, hold up. Dad kind. What the hell is this? Is that a German mathematician? How do you even know that, Snake? Maybe it's a compilation of his work. I'm sorry, no. Owen, huh? Owen isn't enough to go on. Perhaps it's about the English Revolutionary. Leibniz. This book is in German. Looks like it's the complete works of something German.